Welcome to. I've just recorded a Premier League reaction and review video, and there's a couple of more things coming up. The Premier League season is over, but I'll tell you what isn't the Euros. I'm going to do a Euros prediction and preview. But first, the England squad. Something that has brought up quite the argument over the season, really, seeing players. So I thought I want to make a video on this. I think it was quite an interesting topic. And basically, this video is going to be who I think should be in England's squad. So I'm going to pick 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, and 4 attackers. So let me just write that down so I don't forget, because I will, because I'm a mong. So it's 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 midfielders, and 4 attackers. What would make it a 23-man squad? What I think sounds about right. Keepers for me, no arguments. Unfortunately, Nick Pope looks like I've read that he's going to have some surgery of some sort. What's a shame. So he won't be in my squad. I'm basing this on injuries as well, so I'm not going to pick players that are injured. 3 goalkeepers for me, no question, are Sam Johnstone, who's just been fantastic for West Brom. Jordan Pickford, because he's all we've got. And Dean Henderson, because he's made himself first choice at United and took De Gea out of the goal. That's a credit to him in itself. Who do I put as first choice? I don't know. I think Dean Henderson's got a mistake in him. I think Sam Johnstone's got a mistake in him. And I know Jordan Pickford's got a mistake in him. I say Dean Henderson because he's used to playing out from the back with a shocking Man United defence in front of him. But then you look at the goal against for the goals he conceded against Liverpool, for example, how big the net looked and how small he looked when Salah was thrown goal in the last kick of the game. Got to make yourself bigger. So overall, I am going to put Johnstone as my first choice keeper. I'm playing 4-3-3. That's how I like to play. 4-3-3 attack. So Sam Johnstone in net because he's had the most shots to save as West Brom keeper. As a West Brom keeper, you have to make saves, whereas United, not as many. So I think Sam Johnstone's proved his shot stopping. And for me, Sam Johnstone goes in there. Again, probably a bit controversial, but that's why I'm making this video. Right back, depends what sort of system you want to play. The fact that Trent isn't there is shambolic. That's fucking ridiculous. So here we are. That's well, it's just ridiculous. So we've got the goalkeepers. I'm writing it down as I go. So the keepers are Johnstone who's first choice, then I'd say Henderson second, and then Pickford who's third, because Pickford's tiny little arms, I think, are fucking useless. So for my defenders, I'm going 2 right backs, 2 left backs, and 4 central midfielders. So defenders, for me the 2 left backs are easy, so we'll get them out of the way. It's Ben Chilwell, who's been great for Chelsea this season, scored on the last day of the season, and Luke Shaw, who's been fantastic for Man United. That's easy. Centre backs, hello sir, eBay, fuck off, thank you. Okay, so centre backs again I think is easy. And I am going to go with John Stones. He's playing for the champions. John Stones, no question. For his slabby head, if he's fit, what I think he will be by the sounds of it, Harry Maguire. And then there's 2 others, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Michael Keane, not good enough. Everton haven't been good enough. Connor Cody, I think, is a shout. Also Tyrone Mings, decent player. Obviously, if this was normal, I'd be like Joe Gomez, but Joe Gomez will not be fit. So Maguire and Stones, yes. And I want 2 more. And who do I want those 2 more to be? It's a very good question. I don't know. But there's when you look, you reel off, if you like, the options. There's Connor Cody, yes, okay, good player. Tyrone Mings, Eric Dyer, who I don't want in that England squad, but I think he will be. I would like Connor Cody, and I'm going to put Connor Cody down. Connor Cody, and then I want 1 more one more defender, where it's like Eric Dyer, Tyrone Mings. Is there anyone else? And this is where I go Kyle Walker. I know you're thinking he's not a centre-back, he's a right-back, but he can play centre-back if Gareth Southgate so wishes to go as part of the three. So I'm going to put Kyle Walker as a centre-back, a right-sided centre-back. Mainly because if we've got a right-back, it takes away an option. Right-back options, Reece James, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Trent and Kieran Trippier. Trippier's won the league at Atleti, but I don't think he's good enough. I just don't. For me, Trent Alexander-Arnold, call me biased, call me whatever, but if anyone thinks that Trent Alexander-Arnold shouldn't be in that England squad, they're deluded. If Gareth Southgate doesn't take Trent Alexander-Arnold to that England squad, he's nuts. So there's him, there's one more, and I'm torn. I am torn between Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Reece James. And I'm going to pick Aaron Wan-Bissaka because, and only because, Reece James is a fantastic player. But what he isn't is much different to Trent. Trent and Reece James are similar players. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is much better defensively, Trent's much better attacking. So I believe if you're playing against, for example, some shit European side, like let's say we're playing against, I don't know, Andorra. I don't even know who's in the England. I don't even know who's in the Euros yet. I'm going to look that up before I make my Euros predictions and preview show. I'll probably have a fucking one of them Euro wall charts on the wall. I always do it for a big event. We're all big kids inside, really. Andorra, you could play Trent because they're not going to be attacking. Play Trent, get them crosses in, get that threat in. Sorted. And then in games against Portugal, where you got Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, Diogo Jota in at you, you want Aaron Wan-Bissaka there. Well, I think it's fair enough. Okay, midfield. I think for me, absolutely no question in my mind. If he's fit, he has to play Jordan Henderson, a leader in midfield. You need him. And then we're going to stick with the back half of midfield, where I'd want Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. Again, I'm not saying I start them all, but you need them options there. And I can't think of many other decent defensive midfielders besides them three. And I think three's right. Two more holding. Then you can have a couple in attack. So for my midfield, I'm going also attacking as well. So for me, Mason Mount has to go in. So that's 4 of 8. Mason Mount has to go in. He's been fantastic this season for Chelsea. He's stood out. He's really, really caught my eye. Also, this is where it gets really, really rather tough. Because you've got Jack Grealish. And you've got James Maddison. And you've got Phil Foden. And obviously then there's Mason Mount. And then there's more like wingers. But they'll go in as the forwards. And that is why I'm going to actually do the forwards first. Because my forwards are decided. I'm having Harry Kane. No doubt. I'm having Marcus Rashford. No doubt. I am having Raheem Sterling without a doubt. And then this is the only other tough one. And for me it's between two. Ollie Watkins, Patrick Bamford. And for me, it's Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is a very good player. I think he offers more than Bamford. I know Bamford's scored more, but I think that's because he works under Bielsa. I think I think Ollie Watkins can offer a bit more. Whereas Patrick Bamford, I think he's only good under Bielsa. I don't think he'll be as good. So we've got 19 of the 23, all the defence sorted and all the goalkeepers, plus I've got 4 more midfielders. And they're going to be attacking / wing, like right midfielders, left midfielders. So I've got my 3 CDMs, I've got 1 cam. Obviously Kane's a winger, so I'll put Sterling's a winger, so I'll put him up front. I want Jadon Sancho as another winger. And I honestly want Jack Grealish and Phil Foden as my Jack Grealish and Phil Foden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got one more midfielder. And I don't know who I want it to be. I just don't. I'm not sure on James Maddison. I and ah with him all the time. All the time I and ah with that guy. I look at... I think he's too similar to Mason Mount, but not as good. It's a tough one. Part of me does want to put him in there, but then you've got too many similar players. I've got Grealish, Foden, and Mason Mount in there. So I sort of think, maybe you go at the complete opposite end of the spectrum and go for players like Tom Davies from Everton, who's a very good player. Obviously, not him, just an example. I go through all the top teams in the country. I'm like, ooh, Spurs. Eric Dyer, we could have him as a central midfielder. Dele Alli, who's been looking decent again. Dele Alli's a shout. Arsenal. I think, there's an interesting one. Bukayo Saka. But I think, again, he's injured. And then you just keep going through all these teams. Leeds, Calvin Phillips, already put him in. Villa, yes, very good. Ross Barkley's there at Villa. You work down the table. Everton, okay, options. But for me, just because I'm not sure if he's going to be injured or not, Bukayo Saka gets in my team. And I think for this England side, let's just say we are playing against a big team, I go 4-2-3. Right, so first of all, here's the squad. 3 goalkeepers are Sam Johnston, Dean Henderson and Jordan Pickford. My defensive 8 are Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw, left back, John Stones, Harry Maguire, Connor Cody and Kyle Walker, centre back, and Trent and Wan-Bissaka. Right back, midfield, Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, with Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka as the more attacking and wide midfielders. Kane, Rashford, Sterling and Watkins up front. And I go 4-2-3-1. And I go in net, Johnston. Back 4 of Trent Alexander-Arnold. I go Stones. I go Maguire. And I go Shaw. And then I go Hendo. And this is where I'm not sure if it's Phillips or Rice. Rice scored a goal last season and so did Phillips. I think Rice, bear in mind they've had a better season and he's been a really good strong player in it. I am going to put Declan Rice. And then it's 4-3-1. So on the right it's got to be Sterling. On the left it's got to be Rashford. Up front it's got to be Kane. Middle, Grealish, Foden or Mount. That is the position. This is the problem England have. Because they've got up front, Harry Kane, no question. Left, Rashford, no question. Right, Sterling, no question. Then you're middle. Interesting. Centre back, Stones and Maguire. Well, I've Connor Cody as backup, no question. Then you're but right back, is it Trent? Is it Wan-Bissaka? Is it Kyle Walker? Is it Kieran Trippier? Is it Reece James? Then it's midfield. Is it Phil Foden? Is it James Maddison? Is it Jadon Sancho? Is it Jack Grealish? Is it Mason Mount? And for me, I'm going to put Foden. That's my team. Johnston in net, Trent, Stones, Maguire and Shaw. Hendo and Rice. If you're playing 4-2-3-1 with 2 holding midfielders, what I think England will, you want an attacking right back. Henderson and Rice could come back. It doesn't matter. So I think Trent and Shaw are really good at wings on fullback. So it's Johnston, Trent, Stones, Maguire, Shaw. Henderson and Rice holding midfield. Sterling, Foden and Rashford behind Harry Kane. That's good. And then on the bench, if Foden don't work out, you've got Grealish and Mount. Sterling has a poor game, you've got Jadon Sancho. Harry Kane has a shitter, you've got Ollie Watkins. Stones and Maguire end up having a dodgy game. Connor Cody's more than capable. If you need more pace, you can put Kyle Walker centre back. I don't doubt that. If you're winning 3-0 and you don't want Trent bombing down at wings, bring on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And that is my final team. Sam Johnstone I put in because I think he deserves a chance. But yes, that is me done today. I made my Premier League review, and that is my... it's not what I predict. I think Gareth Southgate's a knob and won't put Trent in the squad. But for me, that is the squad, as I said, and my team is Johnston, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Henderson, Rice, Sterling, Foden, Rashford, and Kane. Is it any good? Yeah, it's alright. Do you think it'll win? I don't know. I'm not actually sure when the England squad's going out, so I'm going to upload this ASAP, and then we'll see. Then I'll actually upload the What's It one later, and then I'll have a look into the Euros and the fixtures, and we can predict what's going to happen. Thank you very much for watching indeed. Take care, and I shall see you soon for some more football conversations or FIFA career mode.